Welcome back to the top news channel RF Update. If you find my video useful, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Brexit news: the shackles of the EU have been broken. VDL was torn to pieces by Dominic Raab's plan. Brexit It is time for the United Kingdom to break free from the shackles of EU regulations. He plans to present a fresh design. European Court's decisions on the Human Rights Act will be overridden under new proposals from Dominic Raab. Many opinions say, I've got to admit, I voted Remain. I apologize unreservedly to the nation. I am sorry. It was a mistake. Seeing how bad the EU is acting and their imperialist ambitions had opened my eyes, and many Remainers have now regretted their vote. How I hate unelected VDL and the EU, the worst president ever. The EU promises to abide by the rules and not destroy our fishing or cause troubles in NI again. They promise to be a fair player in negotiations. All lies. They are compulsive liars. Now they let criminals use human rights laws to come and stay in the UK. So glad Boris is stopping this and creating per own human rights that take the side of victims, not criminals. On the other hand, many people also have the opinion that, could somebody tell the DE headline writers that the ECHR is not part of the EU? The idea that ECHR rulings are stifling EU laws is wonderfully misinformed. Any legislation made, it's to suit UK and UK citizens first and foremost, nobody else. Get rid of these people back to the countries they came from, which is France mostly, otherwise lives will be lost and it will be down to France and nobody else. Unless they want to start seeing loads of bodies floating in the water, they better get their acts together and quick. There will be a planned revision of the Human Rights Act, HRA, in an attempt to avoid UK institutions and courts from being dictated to by European judges in Strasbourg next week, one source said. Mr. Raab's goal is to safeguard British law and undue intrusion while adhering to tradition from European Convention on Human Rights Regulations, ECHR. Parliament wants to retain the ability to interpret judgments in a manner that is consistent with the nation's interests, while without detracting from the ECHR. As WE is said to have had key input in drafting the ECHR legislation from the very beginning, only to see many of them being collected by multiple interpretations by EU judges, one analyst said. I think it would be best if we opt out altogether. After all, we are signed to the UN and other international human rights treaties, and we still have some control over us. According to a recent report, in his consultation document, Mr. Raab plans to lay out specific steps to limit the ECHR's power. In addition, Parliament is planned to have a mechanism to correct case law that it did not agree to, as well as the ability for UK courts to refuse to follow Strasbourg case law. The Justice Secretary is expected to recommend tightening the interpretation of Article 8, which safeguards the right to family life, in order to prevent it from being manipulated by unsuccessful asylum seekers and foreign criminals in order to avoid being compelled to leave the United Kingdom. 2/3 of successful appeals are claimed to be based on Article 9. Some comments concluded that, fantastic news. Brexit allows us to bring back power to UK judges, the same judges that Boris is preparing to legislate so the government can ignore them. Long live Brexit.